Hello again. I must confess to having a sneaking admiration for Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He really is a frightful chancer and liar, but one cannot help but admit that he really is very good at what he does, which is to deceive people about what is going on in their own country. Take this advertisement in my newspaper this morning, which suggests that I might want to join the Conservative Party. To speak candidly, I'd sooner be dead in a ditch than to do such a thing, but I cannot help but smile at the cheek of a man who would authorise such an appeal. I mean, just look at this. If our priorities are your priorities, then join us to show your support. And apparently Rishi Sunak's priorities include growing the economy, reducing debt, cutting waiting lists, and stopping the boats, so that if you come to the country illegally, you're detained and swiftly removed. This business about reducing debt and growing the economy comes from a man whose wife is richer than the king. Literally. Cut waiting lists as though he or any member of his family would ever be sitting in casualty for hours or waiting months for a referral to a specialist. It's the last of his priorities, though, which really made me smile. Last year, 45,000 people crossed the English Channel illegally, and by making stopping the boats as one of its priorities, the government is hoping to show that they have a tough line on immigration. They do this because they know it's something that a lot of people feel strongly about. Let's just have a look at a few figures. 45,000 people arrived in this country across the Channel, but after the government granted British passports with the right to come and live in Britain to all those people in Hong Kong a year or two back, there's been a huge flood of Chinese people coming here to live. 75,000 a year, in fact. This is likely to be the case in coming years as well. There's no sign of the influx slowing down anytime soon. Then there are the 100,000 Ukrainians who have come to this country at the government's invitation and came to live here since last year. Most of them show no signs of returning home, and we may as well assume that they're here for good. Then too, there are the 20,000 Afghans who were given permission to come here following the fall of Kabul. So far, all this tots up to around 200,000 new immigrants in a year. 4 times as many people have arrived in small boats. But all that's just the tip of the iceberg. How many students do you think came to this country from overseas in the years 2021 to 2022? Well, I'll tell you, it was 680,000. A lot of them brought their families with them, that is to say, their wives and children. So far in the course of the year, we've counted nearly 1 million people entering the UK from overseas in 1 year. But a lot of those people will return to their own countries, won't they? We can't really call them immigrants because many will leave Britain again after a while. What then is the difference between those arriving in the country and those leaving? In other words, how much did the population of Britain increase in the course of a single year? That is to say, people who came and did not leave. Net migration to Britain in the year up to June 2022 was 504,000. That is to say, over 500,000. That's getting on for the population of Manchester in the course of 12 months. All those extra people will need homes. They will all require doctors, and they will use public services, need water, and so on. Anybody watching this had trouble getting an appointment with their doctor lately? Guess why? Anybody have young relatives who are desperately trying to find somewhere to rent and having difficulty? Now you know the reason. Anybody watching this visiting the A&E department at the local hospital lately and notice that hardly anybody there speaks English? Now you know why. When Rishi Sunak uses small boats in this kind of advertisement, he's not doing so because he cares about immigration. He's invited 10 times as many people to come and settle in Britain as the number who arrive here and claim asylum. He does so because it's a small programme which he knows, a small problem rather, which he knows is winding people up. And so he thinks it's good to pretend to care about it to show that he's on our side. He's not on our side at all. He is the enemy. A man who is determined to change the character of this country by ramping up immigration until it's reached levels which far exceed anything ever seen before, even under Tony Blair.